All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Appreciate you guys joining me today. Appreciate you waiting patiently for the intro to finish up there. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's PS5 Pro day. It's finally here. The day of the Pro. The day of reckoning. Not really. But what's up, guys? 223 Gaming says his Pro is en route to be delivered today. Yeah, mine is apparently out for delivery as well, but I don't necessarily have an ETA on the time that it's going to arrive. So I am assuming it's arriving later. And yeah, so if you were tuning into yesterday's stream, I was telling you guys I was expecting mine to come late, right? I was expecting it to come later, but I did get, like, literally as soon as I ended the stream yesterday, it's like somebody at Sony was listening and they were waiting. As soon as I ended the stream, I got the email confirmation that it shipped out and it would be here today. So, I'm going to say there's probably not going to be an unboxing. It could arrive while I'm streaming, but usually the way these things go down is bigger packages like this usually arrive a little bit later in the day. So, and I don't think this is going to be a super long stream. I also do want to let you guys know that if I seem a little bit unenergetic today, I am feeling kind of sick. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I did just take some medicine, so hopefully that kicks in. But I'm just going to be honest, like, I feel like shit today. Straight up. Like, I just feel like shit. I'm a little bit disappointed because, you know, like, I was excited for the PS5. I'm still excited for the PS5 Pro, but, you know, I'm feeling pretty sick, and that's definitely putting a damper on the day. You're saying you feel that way when you set up your PS5 Pro. It's the PS5 Pro that's doing it. It's making me sick. It's causing the sickness. And a banger saying you got your PS5 Pro this morning in a huge electronics store. Interesting. But yeah, we're not just going to be we're going to talk a little bit about the Pro today. I'm curious to see, or hear, I should say. I'm curious to hear from anybody in the chat if you got your Pro today and you've played it. What do you think of it? Has anybody had like a decent amount of time with this thing? Any impressions? But we're also going to be talking about something else pretty significant. Death Stranding shadow dropped on Xbox consoles today. On Xbox. It just shadow dropped on Xbox, bro. And this is quite surprising. Obviously, there's going to be some fanboy stuff with something like this happening. But I think there's something very clear that has been... Basically, Sony said something very clearly that I think needs to be highlighted. And I think it explains why this occurred. So we're going to talk extensively about that as well. Hicksock, you're saying it's awesome. I tried many games. Stellar Blade, 80 FPS, an amazing PSSR. Dragon's Dogma 2, 60 in ray tracing mode. It's great. King Sam says PS5 Pro came this morning. Been doing the data transfer for 6 hours. 30 minutes ago that I'm ready to start playing. Damn, 6 hours. Oh, good stuff, King Sam. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, man. Wasn't Death Stranding on Game Pass already? There was a loophole. That's how it ended up on Game Pass. There was some kind of loophole with the PC publishing side that allowed 505 Games to put Death Stranding, the PC version, onto Game Pass PC. That's important to understand. That's very different from what we're about to cover today. Saying the Horizon engine is running on Xbox, that's something, I guess. Hicksock says, I recommend uploading your saves to cloud and only downloading that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Have to upload the saves, I guess, for anything you're planning on going back to and playing. Capono's like, that's his favorite Deb, so this cuts deep for him. Capono, I love the melodrama of it all. But guys, listen, before we get into these conversations, again, I do want to apologize in advance if today's stream is much shorter than usual. I was honestly contemplating not streaming today. Like, that's how crappy I feel. But I figured, it's PS5 Pro launch day. If it feels like I gotta stream, but I did want to talk to you guys about this Kojima situation. So I just want to apologize in advance if today's stream is significantly shorter than the regular streams. Who knows? Maybe I'll start feeling better. But before we get into any of these topics, I do just want to let you know that if you want to help support the channel directly and support the content, there are a couple of ways to do that. Become a channel member, gift memberships, drop a super chat, drop a direct donation. These are 4 separate ways in which you can help fan fund the channel and the content and the streams. And I'm only able to continue to do this because you guys make it possible. So please consider doing that throughout the course of this stream. But yeah, we have I want to start here with the Kojima thing because I feel like this is kind of the elephant in the room right now. So here are the details. All right. This morning, Death Stranding, a once PlayStation console exclusive, shadow dropped on Xbox, and it's the director's cut. Death Stranding director's cut is now available to buy on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, and it's being sold for $20 US. No Game Pass release, just being sold in the storefront. And we also learned, and this is the important part, Kojima Productions purchased the Death Stranding IP, the Fizzant IP, and the OD IP. Kojima Productions officially owns all of their own intellectual properties now. So there is something quite significant about this when it comes to the Sony side of things that I want to talk to you guys about. And, I think there's a couple things we have to clear up. The first thing is people are seeing Death Stranding releasing on Xbox, and they are assuming that PlayStation released Death Stranding on Xbox. That's not what happened. And it's important to point this out so people don't get, false expectations. Sony did not publish Death Stranding on Xbox. 505 Games did. Sony sold the Death Stranding IP to Kojima Productions. Then Kojima Productions went to 505 Games and said, publish this on Xbox. So that is important to understand because there is naturally this conversation that's arising that, well, I guess Sony's going to start releasing their games on Xbox. And it's like, listen, I wouldn't jump to that conclusion. I'm not saying they won't either, but we need to understand that Sony did not go out of their way to put this game on Xbox. That's the first thing. The second thing, and this is the more important part. Why did Sony sell the Death Stranding IP to Kojima Productions? You see, I think there's something that some people, or maybe a lot of people, are overlooking here. There's a very clear message being communicated by Sony with this move they made, and a surprising one. And that message is, we don't believe in Death Stranding. This is not going to be a big franchise, a lucrative franchise, a successful franchise. We do not believe in it. That is very important to understand. If so, I need people to understand this, that if Sony thought that Death Stranding had the potential to be a big moneymaker in the long run and to be a very lucrative, successful franchise, they abso-fucking-lutely would have never sold that IP to Kojima. There is one caveat here, but it's unlikely. The only other explanation potentially could be that Kojima offered Sony, they offered them a certain amount of money that they just simply couldn't refuse. Listen, this is how much we'll give you for the Death Stranding IP. Maybe they offered them a number that was way more than what it's actually worth. And Sony was like, shit, we can't pass up on that, especially after what happened with Bungie and Concord and all the money we lost. That is possible, but I do not think it's likely. What about Fizzant? Fizzant is even more interesting. Fizzant is even more interesting because that is something that again, man, the only thing that makes sense is Sony basically decided that this is not going to be, we don't believe in this enough. I think it's important to understand that Sony is giving up control. They're giving up control. When does Sony do that? Sony only does that under two circumstances. Number one, when they are forced by a partner, a licensing partner, or in the one-off instance of buying Bungie, or two, they give up control when they no longer believe in the intellectual property and what it can do for them. So the next thing that people are kind of asking about, what does this mean for Death Stranding 2? See, Jack, I want to touch on that for a moment. Or Herman is just being nice to Kojima. That's not how this works. I did see some people, look, I don't think it's bad that Kojima, this is obviously what Kojima wants. Obviously, Kojima wants to own his own IP. That's the biggest mistake he made with Metal Gear Solid. So that's a win for Kojima, absolutely. But this is not a, you know what, Kojima, we like you. Here you go. That's not how that works. Jason, you're saying cope session has begun. What is there to cope over? Jason, please explain. I'm going to need an explanation, bud. Or maybe Kojima now wants control of his IPs, otherwise it doesn't work for you. Otherwise he doesn't work for you. And so to have Fizzant, you have to give up the Death Stranding IP. I find that one hard to believe because essentially when we look at the announcement of Fizzant, that was a deal that was done. Something changed. And I don't think what changed is Kojima basically walked into Sony's office and said, I have new demands. I mean, that could be a possibility, but Kojima has never really kind of been like that. Kojima honestly has shown over the years that he's more than willing to kind of sign these deals. It is a possibility. But I think what's more likely here, because again, there's just the one thing we cannot get away from is that Sony relinquished the Death Stranding IP. That, I'm telling you, that is the most important thing to understand, that Sony willingly let go of it. I think, here's my theory, and I have no way to prove this, obviously. We'll just have to wait and see. My theory, and I'll talk about Death Stranding 2 in a moment, and what I think it might happen with that game. My theory is that the deal that was done with Kojima for Death Stranding 2 and for Fizzant was prior to Jim Ryan's exit and prior to Herman Hulst being promoted to CEO. It was also prior to Sony's live service collapse with Concord. I think this is basically Herman being forced to make the tough business decisions. Because let's not forget who Herman reports to now. Herman reports to Hiroki Totoki, the president and CFO of Sony, the money man. I'm certain that Herman is the one who was able to strike these deals with Kojima. But Herman is also the one that brought Concord to the table, to Jim, to Sony, and said, guys, I think this is a winner. Herman is now solely responsible for the success and profitability of PlayStation Studios and their games. That's purely on Herman's shoulders now. There's nobody above him to be able to kind of deal with the blowback. It's on him. I think this is basically a position that Herman was put in where it's like, bro, Kojima's going to be a money sink. Death Stranding was a money sink. Fizzent's going to be a money sink. Doesn't mean it can't make some money, but it's risky. And, you know, Kojima has been known, I mean, let's face it, he likes to hire big famous actors. That doesn't come cheap. I'm pretty sure this was just like Herman having to be like, yeah, we can't really afford this. And we don't have, like, we do not have enough faith in something like Death Stranding 2 being a 10 million plus seller. Considering the game, the budget's probably well over $200 million. Probably more than that. This whole deal with Fizzent made it sound like Sony's going even bigger. Who the hell is Carlos says, do you think we would ever get a Death Stranding FPS multiplayer? Maybe. Maybe Kojima, maybe that's what Kojima's planning. He's like, yo, we're going all in. We're going to give you something totally different. I would love to play that. That'd be sick. Just because it'd be so weird. I want to say it's probably not likely, but that would be funny. JD Sanchez says, hey, MBG, I'm thinking of getting the PS5 Pro, but is it actually worth it, or should I wait for the PS6? I can't tell you. I mean, I can't give you my thoughts on that yet. From a, like, I played it. I would say here's what I'll say. If you're not sold on what you've seen so far, you're better off waiting. I don't know if, like, you necessarily need to wait for the PlayStation 6, but I'd say give it a little bit more time, see what future games are going to be enhanced. But I'll try it out myself. But I mean, if you're somebody who's on the fence and you're not sure if you should pull the trigger, I mean, I'm going to be real, man. I don't know that you should right now. If you're not sold on what you've seen, because it's been made pretty clear what this console is going to do, what it's not going to do. I would say maybe hold off. At the very least, wait for newer games to come out. Wait for newer games to come out. Oh, here we go with Goat Gaming, bro. Goat Gaming. Come on, man. He says, I can't believe Herman Hulst did this. I can't believe Herman Hulst did this. Kojima is our property at PlayStation. Now Xbox getting Death Stranding 2, according to Jess Corden. Oh, man. Tisk, tisk, Goat Gaming. I can absolutely believe Herman did this, bro. I'm pretty sure Herman's scared. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty sure Herman's afraid his head's going to roll next. If he doesn't get, like, he's got to tighten the belt, dude. Like, that's the thing that's been made clear. He's got to tighten the belt. I don't know if people kind of realize. We didn't really talk about it that extensively. We did a stream on it. I did a video. I noticed the video on the viewership on that video was so low. And it just seems like when people heard that Concord, the game, shut down, I think a lot of people assume that meant the studio as well. But then we found out like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago that the actual studio is being shut down too. I don't think people understand do you know how like I'm not kidding when I say Sony literally took maybe it was Jim Ryan, Herman Hulst, the combo of the two. Somebody at Sony took hundreds of millions of dollars and literally flushed it down the toilet. I mean, literally. The biggest change from Herman Hulst going from the head of PlayStation Studios to Jim Ryan retiring, then Herman Hulst becoming the CEO of PlayStation Studios is he's now responsible from a financial standpoint. Previously, that was on Jim Ryan's shoulders. Jim Ryan's not there anymore. Now that's on Herman's shoulders. And I think that's why Herman didn't get fired. People are like, well, why didn't Herman get fired for Concord? Because honestly, it was Jim's call at the end of the day. Jim could have said, no, Herman. Bad. Dean Bromley, thank you so much for that, buddy. He decides to become a channel member, showing some direct support, kicking us off today. We'll see if we can hit that 25 mark or not. But thank you, Dean. Appreciate that. Now, when it comes to Death Stranding 2, well, hold on. Capono, you're saying it's Shadowlink. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. Capono, you're saying maybe it's too soon to condemn Herman. Well, I'm not trying to condemn him. I'm just saying that, dude, listen, it's on his shoulders now. The buck does stop with Herman now, with PlayStation Studios. Money in, money out. Investment made, investment not made. No, thank you. That's purely on Herman's shoulders now. And these are some turbulent times, right? When we talk about the success of Death Stranding, there's always been this kind of air of skepticism. Was Death Stranding really that successful for Sony and Kojima? I think for Kojima, it absolutely was. It's his first game from his new studio. But from Sony's perspective, I think Sony's expecting, well, let's be honest, they have very, very, very high expectations now, dude. Titus comes in and drops 5 membership gifts for you guys. Titus coming in, flexing that 5 bomb for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Titus, thank you so much for that, man. That actually brings us up to 6 members. So we'll see if we can get a little member train started. Thank you for that. Let me, there we go. Good stuff, man. Thank you. Always appreciate the support. And I think I missed a milestone chat from Bionic Wolf. He says, my Pro Anniversary bundle ships on the 21st. Gotta wait 2 more weeks. The suffering. You deserve it. I'm just kidding. You don't deserve it. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't necessarily feel bad for the people who got the Pro bundles. They got to wait a little bit longer. I'm like, well, hey, man, there's always a price to be paid, right? There's always a price to be paid. But it'll be worth the wait, dude. It's just 2 more weeks. It'll be worth the wait. And Hellbound 1981 comes in and drops another 5 bomb on you guys. That's 10 memberships gifted. And also Meow comes in and drops a single. That's 6 memberships between Hellbound and Meow. Thank you guys so much for that. Very kind of you guys. That brings us up to 12. So, yeah, guys, if we hit the goal of 25, we'll feed the cats. We'll feed the beasts some treats. I know you guys always love when we do that. Again, we have more people here. Apologies if I sound a little bit unenthusiastic. I'm a little bit under the weather. What the hell is that on my screen? Oh. Wait, what? I just realized the notifications are popping up behind the screen. Or behind my... Hold on now. Something's broken here. Has that been like that this whole time? All right, I fixed it. Sorry about that. I don't know why the notifications weren't showing up. Let me see. We have we have Scuba Tank filled with farts. He says, imagine if the next Death Stranding 2 trailer has the Indiana Jones one more thing moment at the end. The Xbox/PC logo. People will have a meltdown. I mean, yeah, like there will be some meltdowns for sure, but listen, I've tried to tell people, specifically PlayStation fans, like I've tried to tell them, us, right? I've just been saying it for months now. Like, dude, you need to expect anything. This, like, Sony is not, they have completely new leadership, and they are very clearly willing to do things that they've never done before. They're clearly willing to do things that people thought would be impossible. I'm not saying you should jump to the conclusions that, like, I've literally today I saw somebody saying whole slate, which is funny. Like, yeah, you're right, man. The whole slate. Sony's going to give the whole slate of games to 505 Games to publish. They're going to give the whole slate to Kojima. And it's like, listen, you're jumping to conclusions. But at the same time, like, people who are now questioning, like, well, does this mean if I'm on Xbox, can I play Death Stranding 2? You will at some point. I don't know that it's going to be at launch. I think there is still an exclusivity deal in place. I think Sony probably retained that, you know. I'm pretty sure that's something Sony would not just give up willingly. And Kojima's probably fine with that too. But yeah, Death Stranding 2 will make its way to Xbox at some point now. That's been made clear today. But the whole idea of like a one more thing moment, that would be insane. That would be, yeah, at that point, Sony and Microsoft are in the same boat practically. Or, you know, there's really not much difference there. So that would be a very fascinating turn of events. And yeah, it would be interesting to see what type of meltdowns would occur at that point. But yeah, when it comes to PlayStation at this point, man, I mean, what more? What more do we need to see for, you know, for people to kind of realize, like, man, maybe I should expect anything now. And Meow comes in and drops a second single membership gift. Meow, thank you so much for that. Keeping the member train going. Bringing us up to 13. Good stuff. Babu Dude says, I know you don't agree, but I believe Sony didn't want to risk sourcing their relationship with Kojima. If they can secure his next big game for at least a year, it's a win for PlayStation. Well, yeah, I mean, you said, I said the word sourcing, you said the word souring. That's my bad. You think Sony didn't want to risk souring their relationship. Well, here's something else that we need to highlight. Kojima got the OD IP as well. And that shakes things up a little bit because that means, well, listen, what it could mean is that Microsoft never owned the OD IP and Sony never owned the Fizzant IP. And there is a possibility. Listen, I'm looking at it from the perspective of maybe Sony doesn't believe in Death Stranding that much anymore, or it's too risky for them. But maybe you're onto something here, Wabu Dude. Maybe it is more along the lines of, listen, Kojima's trying to negotiate with them, and it's clear he really wants it. But the whole thing is, listen, the whole thing is, Sony would have to sell that IP knowing they're giving up two major things here, man, that they have very deep implications. First, you're just giving up control. You will not own this anymore. You do not control what happens to it from this moment going forward. Kojima does. Not you, Sony. Kojima. Kojima's going to do whatever he wants, and you can't stop him. They give that up. Number two, they also realize and they know that you are going to let this game go to Xbox. So while it may not be, it's not PlayStation. PlayStation is not publishing the game on Xbox, but a decision was made. We are going to let this game go. We're going to let this IP go. And I'm just saying from a business oriented standpoint, this is where I don't know that right now the decisions we're seeing Sony making, like Sony just shut down a whole studio, bro, with over like 150 devs. I don't think the decisions that Sony's making right now have any level of emotional influence. Like there's no emotional influence. And when we talk about the idea of Sony, like they don't want to sour their relationship, or they want to make sure they're in good standing. To be honest, I'm sure Sony was not pleased when Kojima basically walked out on stage with an Xbox logo and Jordan Peele and hyping up, I'm making a game for Xbox. Like we're talking about Japanese culture, of course. It's very, but Sony's HQ is in California, so the culture is kind of all over the place, I guess, in a way. But we do have to consider that side of it as well, that maybe Sony was like, bro, like maybe there was a slight feeling of like, you kind of went against us, man. Like we were there for you. But Kojima's made it, he made it. Sony helped them get where they, and maybe it's not even Herman, dude. Maybe that's just how like Sony Japan HQ feels. They're like, he betrayed us. We won't know. But again, the fact of the matter is Sony let go of the IP. They let it go. They said, have it. Piper, you're saying death of Sony will be connected to depending on third party. Those days are over. Companies are saying no more. Piper, if I understand your super chat correctly, you're saying, are you talking about like third party deals and exclusivity? If that's what you're talking about, I don't think that's going to hurt Sony that much. I think it will potentially impact their bottom line, certainly, and their console sales. But I don't necessarily think it's going to, like holistically, when talking about PlayStation as a storefront, as a platform, as an ecosystem, I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt them that much. It's certainly not going to lead to their death. But I do agree that companies, yeah, they are starting to basically walk away from exclusivity. The Genius 200 says, just got my PS5 Pro from UPS and a 4 terabyte SSD. On the Death Stranding news, I think it's calculated only to get people to get a PS5 for the sequel. Well, yeah, let me talk about that for a moment, Genius, because I haven't mentioned that yet. Death Stranding 2. My best guess, it's very clear something changed. Something quite dramatically changed. Where Sony went from wanting total control over the IP to now they gave it up. That's a significant change. But we do know that Death Stranding 2 is still coming. We do know that Death Stranding 2 has been in development for multiple years. Venino, thank you for letting me know. I'll read that in just a moment. It's been in development for multiple years, probably a lot of money. I mean, look at the cast, they have even more. Kojima hired even more famous actors and actresses to be in his game. Probably a very expensive game. Is it? I don't want to presume to know, because that goes against what I just said about expect anything. But if you were to ask me, MBG, do you think that Sony is going to release Death Stranding 2 on Xbox day one? And PC for that matter. I will say, I'm not going to say yes, as in, oh yeah, for sure. What I will say is, They just might. Yeah. They might be getting ready to do that. Because I think what needs to be understood is Sony is like, I'm not saying they're like completely desperate, but the time to make large amounts of money is now. Not tomorrow, not next year, not 3 years, now. The time to make decisions that will lead to large amounts of not just money, profit is now. I bet you. See, I don't know why I say that. Like, why? I'm not actually making a bet, but I bet you Sony is going to experiment with Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 2 is likely going to be the game where they say, you know what? We need to know. We need to know how much more money, how many more sales can we make going day one on PC with Death Stranding 2? And fuck it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Throw it on Xbox. We can say, hey, it's not us, it's Kojima. We can say that. Throw it on Xbox. And let's see the difference. Let's see the difference. Is Death Stranding the best game to do that with? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, look at what just happened. Sony no longer owns the IP. This is the best opportunity for Sony to basically say, fuck it, we need the data. Because let me ask you this. What's the worst thing that will happen? I'll tell you what the worst thing will be. The worst thing that will happen, and Josh, I'm sorry, I missed your super chat as well. Josh and Venino, I'm going to get to it in just a moment. I just want to make sure I don't lose my thoughts here. The worst thing that will happen is there will be a temporary meltdown of people being convinced that Sony is going third-party multi-plat. And the only thing Sony has to do, if they change their mind, if they're like, this was a failed experiment, we made jack shit on Xbox, we barely made any sales. Literally, all they have to do is come out and say, we did this as an experiment. It didn't go the way we wanted. We are no longer doing this. That's it. That's all that's required. Just like right now, if Microsoft wanted to, Phil Spencer could come out with a blog post and say, we experimented by putting some of our games on PlayStation. It didn't go the way we thought it would. So after Indiana Jones, we're no longer putting games on PlayStation. They could do that. I'm not saying it's likely. And I'm not even saying that this is likely what Sony's going to do. But I think people, they still think that Sony is willing to continue to just lose money. And that's the part that I think is lost on a lot of people who are on the internet talking about this stuff. They don't seem to realize that Sony has lost an unbelievable amount of money by making some seriously bad bets. And they have to recoup that money. Not only do they have to recoup that money, but you're also talking about new leadership that's probably sweating bullets about if we can't get this shit sorted, it's going to be our heads that roll next. But then again, maybe Sony, listen, on the other side of that, maybe it just simply boils down to Sony made the decision, listen, we no longer own the IP, but we're going to have Death Stranding 2 as a 1-year exclusive. Then Kojima, do whatever the fuck you want with it. And we'll make some money off of it as well. That's the more likely outcome. The first outcome that I just speculated about, Sony dropping Death Stranding 2 on PC and Xbox day one, I think it's the best opportunity to experiment and say, screw it, let's just see what happens. But it's just so funny to me that it's like, dude, Sony's publishing a game on Switch. That's what's funny to me about it. It's like they're publishing a video game and an IP that they own on Switch. And people will say, but Lego. No. Sony publishing video game on Switch. Sony agreed. Sony said yes. Sony said we will. Yeah, we'll put that on Switch. We'll publish that. People, I think, are not understanding that it's already happening, slowly but surely. Now, let me ask you, why do you think Sony's publishing that game on Switch? Why? No. Better question. Why do you think Sony said yes to publishing Lego Horizon on Switch? Quiet Doom. See, this is where people are not reading it for what it really is. You're saying it's just a Lego game. It's not that serious. I'm not saying it's serious or not. It's not a matter of seriousness. It's a matter of experimentation. They need to know. They need answers. It's strategic. It is. It is strategic. Well, that's the blanket statement. Everything we do is strategic. Yes, it is. What's the strategy? To extract the most amount of money possible without burning our brand down. That's the strategy. Without losing our core audience. Without destroying our bread and butter ecosystem that we've built. That's the strategy. It's an experiment to see how does our game, this game, it is a Lego game, but how does it do on Switch? Because let me tell you this. If Lego Horizon sells gangbusters on the Switch, what do you think Sony's going to... Do you think Sony's just going to be like, oh, shit, look at how much money we just made. Well, we're never going to put another game on Switch again. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. And I think people are going to wake up and realize that it doesn't work like that. Now, on the other side of that, if they don't make good money from the Switch and their sales are weak, what do you think happens then? Well, chances are Sony's like, shit. All right, well, we tried and it didn't result in anything, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Why do you think Sony is still putting games on PC? Why do you think Sony is putting Spider-Man 2 on PC 1 year later? Nintendo can't run PS games? Not yet, Novinzer. Enter the Switch 2. Before you know it, you're going to see Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered come on the Switch 2. Let me ask you, is that really such a bad thing? I don't think so. I wouldn't give a shit. You tell me. You tell me what you think. All right. We got, Sony's got the Switch 2 dev kit, I bet. I love that. I love the idea of that. That's so funny. Imagine that leak, bro. Imagine that leak. Sony Studio has a Switch 2 dev kit. Guerrilla Games Switch 2 dev kit. Well, actually, that would make sense because they have Lego, but Santa Monica Studio Switch 2 dev kit. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm just saying it's like people will only accept the possibility when it actually happens. You know what I mean? Death Stranding will never be on Xbox. And then here we are. Oh. Well, I guess it is. Well, Horizon will never be on Switch. It's like Xbox players are like, Gears of War will never be on PlayStation. And it's like, yeah, until it is. Until it is. Never say never, my friends. That's the point. Josh, okay, I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Josh says that tracks because that's how they felt when Nintendo backed out of the PS1 collaboration in 93. Yeah, dude, Josh, I still, because you mentioned the Nintendo collaboration, they backed out. Yeah, so you're saying Kojima basically was like, whoa, 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 Sony. We're not trying to be your bitch, you know? And that's dude, see, that's the thing, man. That's what I want to know. Is that changing within Sony? Because it's kind of it's one of these things where we're not going to get an answer to that unless somebody directly involved gives us a straight answer. But basically what you're referring to here, Josh, is that Nintendo backed out of the collaboration they were going to have with Sony in 1993. They backed out because they kind of realized, holy shit, Sony wants to basically like you're under our thumb now, Nintendo. Like, we own you. Like, we don't literally own you, but we own you. You know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of energy, and Nintendo was like, whoa, I don't think so, buddy. And that's the energy that Sony has had for a long time with these types of deals. It's the kind of Sony, like, again, a sense of like power over whoever, whatever, but not necessarily under full-blown ownership. And I think that that's where, yeah, things are changing. And, some people are saying like, hey, those days are over, man. Like, Sony can't really swing their stuff around like that anymore. They can't really throw their weight around like that anymore and think that it's going to work. And there might just be some truth to that. And that's not such a bad thing, because listen, I want to make it clear. My whole thing with Sony is they should just focus on their shit. That's what I think. I mean, I understand like doing exclusivity deals, locking down exclusives, and I've never like complained about that, because it's like, okay, you want Silent Hill 2 is exclusive? Sure. I mean, I play on PlayStation. Cool. Maybe some people will end up buying a PlayStation for that, but I'm like, it doesn't necessarily, like, if Silent Hill goes to Xbox tomorrow, like, that doesn't make it, oh, well, you know what? Now that game means less to me. It's like Death Stranding. Like, Death Stranding being on Xbox right now. Like, dude, my whole thing is, hey, Xbox players, I hope you give it a shot. It was a good game. It was a fun game. Like, I hope you give it a shot. What Sony should do, though, is they got to focus on their own shit. Focus on your own stuff. And if you want to make your own stuff exclusive, yeah, like, across the board, the stuff you own, the stuff Nintendo owns, the stuff Microsoft owns, if you want to make that exclusive, go ahead. That makes sense. But you got to just focus on your own stuff and making that the best it can possibly be. Because we saw the breakdown with Square Enix and the exclusivity deals, and how that was a bad deal for Sony and for Square, seemingly. I mean, I don't know if it was as bad for Sony, but it was just clearly a bad deal. Like, both parties were like, yeah, this isn't working. And now Square is out here basically like, Xbox, we're so sorry, Even though I don't think Xbox is going to save them either. Where it's like, yeah, Square, you got to focus on your own shit, bro. You got to focus on your own shit. Sony ain't going to save you, and neither is Xbox. Sony ain't going to save Xbox. Xbox ain't going to save Sony. These companies, everybody's out here on their own, man. Nobody's going to save anybody. And Kojima obviously knows that. I mean, Sony, listen, let's not pretend. We talk about Sony like Sony did this for Kojima. Sony did that. Bro, Sony was trying to make money off of Kojima. I'm not saying there wasn't some, camaraderie there. There was. Mark Cerny, Herman Holst, going out, having a good time, making friends with Kojima. But at the end of the day, from a corporate level, it's like, where's this money coming from? Like, who's greenlighting this? The executive at the top that says, this guy's going to make us a bunch of money, right? That's why. Why do you think Konami kicked Kojima out? Why do you think they kicked him out? I'm not saying it wasn't a mistake. It clearly was. But at that time, they kicked him out because they looked at how much money he spent on MGS5 and said, what the fuck are you doing? We're done. Maybe the biggest mistake Konami ever made, but that's the business side of this at the end of the day only revolves around a singular idea. And that is, what's the best way to make the most amount of profit and maintain the most amount of control while we're making that profit? That's the singular idea that all of this revolves around. There has to be negotiations. There has to be partnerships. There has to be relationships. This has always been part of it. But at times like this, when the economy is in the shit and, the games industry is in the shitter and things are shrinking, everything's kind of coming back closer together, it becomes every man for themselves. And it also means that companies are going to be willing to do things that they otherwise thought that people would have assumed they would never be willing to do. And it all comes back down to, is your company growing or not? Are you making more profit than you were last year or less? That's what it all comes down to. Perfect Image, you're saying Sony's going to sell games that didn't make money? Well, Sony's not selling Death Stranding. Oh, maybe you're talking... Okay, hold on. You're talking about the IP. You're saying Sony's going to sell IP that didn't make them money. Maybe. Yeah. Freedom Wars Remastered. I don't know if they sold the IP, but they just threw that shit out there. They're like, we're not publishing that. But they were like, yeah, go ahead, they gave it to the original studio, and they said, if you can find a publisher, you do it. We'll make a little bit of money if you do it, but we're not worried about that shit. That didn't make us money. Sony is showing a willingness that wasn't previously there. A willingness to relinquish control that wasn't previously there. Somebody mentioned the Tomorrow Children. That was an interesting scenario. Apparently, Sony sold that IP to the creator as well. That was a little while ago. So I would say Death Stranding, let's be honest though, Death Stranding is the biggest example of this happening. Jay Shock, are you saying they did not? What are you referencing, Jay? The Genius. And Venino, I'm going to get to your direct donation as well. The Genius, you're saying, I think it is overblown. Sony did an honorable thing, letting the creator own his creation. Can't say the same for Konami in regards to Metal Gear. Yeah, well, I mean, look, the truth is, Sony's not going to come out and just tell us why they did this. So there is this perspective we can kind of take if we want, where it's like, are you viewing the glass half full or the glass half empty? Like, how cynical do you want to be? For me, I'm being very cynical. But I'm being very cynical because I still am a believer in the cynicism that is big business and big corpo and whatever. To me, I can never truly remove the cynicism from that because it's been proven time and time again that the decisions that these companies make, no matter how good on the surface they may seem, in terms of like, oh, they're doing the right thing, or they're trying to, there's morals involved. It's like, well, maybe, but probably not. Like, if there's some kind of potential good side to this, like, oh yeah, they're giving Kojima's IP, this is great. Yeah, Sony's probably hoping that that's kind of what people are saying. Like, man, I hope we're the good guys here, Like, I hope at the very least this could be a PR win. And yeah, it kind of is. I'm not trying to say it's not a loss. Like, this is not a bad thing, to be honest. But the only cynical part comes from what I said earlier, and that is that if Sony believed Death Stranding could make them a fuck ton of money, they would not have just given it to Kojima. And that's why Konami didn't give Kojima Metal Gear. Kojima understood he's never getting Metal Gear because, bro, what is Konami without Metal Gear? I mean, sure, they're Castlevania, they're Silent Hill, but what has been for the longest time Konami's biggest moneymaker and their most popular IP? It's Metal Gear. Like, I saw people asking, like, does this mean Sony's going to give Bloodborne to, are they going to sell it to FromSoft? And I'm like, no. No. You know, like, Sony looks at Bloodborne as like, dude, if we can make this shit work, we could make this could be, like, it could be huge. Bloodborne could make so much more money. Like, I'm going to be honest, Bloodborne could make so much more money than Death Stranding ever could if Sony plays their cards right. And they understand that. That's why they're not going to sell Bloodborne. It's an interesting scenario. It's an interesting situation, but we do have to keep the business side of it, I think, at the forefront of our minds when we are seeing things like this pop up. The treatment of Bloodborne is baffling. Like, well, that's the thing. People are always wondering, like, how come they're not doing anything with Bloodborne? And I'm like, oh, trust me, they will be. Believe me, like, the most comical thing to me, and this is how you know, like, some people don't like fully understand, you know, how when Sony is not in the business of having a relatively successful franchise. Sony is now in the business of go fucking big or go home. And I'm not saying that I'm an advocate for that, because a lot of people are not. They're like, well, what about the stuff in between? But it's just right now, the market is, and it has been for a little while, the market is extremely volatile. And it is more of a market where it's like high risk, high reward. You go big. If you win big, you're going to win big. You are set. You are good. But if you lose, oh, you're in some trouble. If you choose to kind of play it safer and do some smaller, more experimental stuff, you're not going to win big. But you're not going to lose big either. So pick your poison, right? And Sony picked theirs. Sony's poison is we want to win big. Real big. Hence Concord. AZN Panda, you're saying, let's go. My Pro just came. Now I'm wearing a mask to pretend I'm sick tomorrow. Feel like going home now. Well, good stuff, AZM Panda. I hope you do enjoy your Pro, man. Still waiting for mine to arrive. Oh God, okay. Zombie Dragon. He says it was a logical move. It keeps the creator happy. It makes him say, hey, I want to work with you guys in the future. And it makes sure he doesn't sign an exclusive deal with Microsoft. The only part I disagree with Zombie Dragon is the last part. This doesn't ensure that they don't sign an exclusive deal with Microsoft. I think it's just important to understand that Kojima is like, Sony has zero control over Kojima. And I think Herman feels as though it's very important to have a creator like Kojima deeply associated with PlayStation. And maybe looking at it from all angles, again, maybe the less cynical side is maybe Herman convinced, maybe the higher-ups, maybe like Hiroki Totoki or whoever, I don't know, maybe somebody else, other individuals within Sony, they're like, no, we cannot give up the Death Stranding IP. But maybe Herman convinced them to do so, where it's like, listen, we can sell it to them and we will be relinquishing control, but we will maintain a healthy relationship with one of the most prominent creators in the industry. And that is more important than flexing our control, imposing our control. That is possible. Like maybe Herman did achieve, like maybe he did convince Sony to do this. But it's just hard to, it's the only reason it's hard for me to believe that is because I just look at how much money Sony has lost recently. And listen, make no mistake, there are some people inside of Sony not panicking, but like taking medication every day for their migraines, the migraines that Jim Ryan left them with, because they have to undo it. Herman's probably one of those people. And that's the reality, man. That's the reality. You know, like I'm not saying, oh, Death Stranding was sold to try to recoup some of the money lost from Concord or Bungie necessarily, but it's all about efficiency. It's all about efficiency. And let me ask you this question. How many millions of copies do you think Death Stranding 2 is going to sell on PlayStation 5? Within the first 6 months. We'll just say half a year, 6 months. How many millions of copies do you think Death Stranding 2 is going to sell? Antonio Lopes, you're saying Patient Zero was MLB. Sony/PS investors and higher-ups had a built-in excuse. It was the perfect game to test the waters. Even PC ports came later. I can agree with that, but the only thing that I think is we have to understand, MLB being Patient Zero, it's an interesting way to put it. MLB is nothing like any of Sony's other games, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, MLB being exclusive genuinely made zero fucking sense. Like, genuinely. Like, to where even people within Sony, like, all these years are probably like, why is that exclusive? That's a game. And I'm not, I mean, you could say that about any game, but I just, like, it's just like, we're going to use MLB to sell consoles. It's like, okay, well, why are you doing that? Because if people buy consoles, we make more money from them. It's like, but it's MLB. It's a yearly sports game. Wouldn't you actually make more money since you're selling the same game? I mean, the same game every year at full price. Wouldn't you actually make more money just putting it everywhere and releasing it every year? It's the same reason why Microsoft would probably never make Call of Duty exclusive, because it's like, wait, would we actually make less money doing that? Yes, you would. You would. It's a yearly release, and it sells millions upon millions of copies every year. The same people are buying that game every year for full price across every platform. You would lose money making it exclusive, a substantial amount of money. And I think with MLB, it was kind of the opposite, where I think Sony, I think you're right, it did kind of show investors like, oh, we can make more money. But I don't know that MLB can be seen as like, so this means we should make God of War. We should release that on everything, right? It's like, well, then I guess you may as well start making a new God of War every year too. I do think that Sony understands fundamentally, and even Microsoft still understands this, by the way. There's a reason why Halo is not yet announced for PlayStation. Even Microsoft, to a degree, still understands that maybe we got to be a little bit picky and choosy here. We got to be a little bit picky and choosy, where maybe it does make complete sense for something like Sea of Thieves or something like Flight Simulator, or in the future, maybe even something like State of Decay to be multiplat. But maybe we hold off on Halo. Maybe we hold off on Gears for now. Maybe that's a bridge too far right now. I just, these companies are Sony's in an, I'm not even going to say these companies, I'm going to say Sony. Sony's in an awkward spot right now, dude. You think the shareholders aren't seeing, not even just the shareholders, you think the executives at Sony, you think they're not seeing the reaction to the Pro? You think they're not seeing, like, dude, go click on the PS5 Pro. And I'm not trying to put a damper on the Pro launch, because I'm excited for it. We're excited. But just more broadly speaking, Go click on the trailer for the PS5 Pro launch, the launch trailer they put out. It's just, I'm not saying those comments are indicative of the wider market, but it's just you don't. I've never seen this type of reaction from the internet to PlayStation hardware. The closest reaction I've seen was maybe the PS Portal, but when that launched, people actually changed their mind. It remains to be seen if people are going to change their mind about the Pro. But I'm just saying, like, that's happening at a time. Listen, and this is the important part. You ready? You ready for this? This reaction we're seeing from the internet, which maybe only a certain percentage is indicative of the wider market. The reaction, generally speaking, we're seeing to the PS5 Pro is it is occurring at the exact same time that Sony's PS5 sales are starting to fall. I think people need to buckle up, man. I do. I'm not saying that to be negative and say it's all going to shit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if there is some kind of miraculous, like, and actually PS5 sales are now exploding again. And the PS5 is going to very easily make its way to 100 million sold. Something has to occur. Like in the next year. Maybe that thing is GTA 6. But right now, this is what we're looking at. Sony wants their games. Dude, Sony wants their software to sell 20, 30, 40 million units. You know what they want, though? They want that to be done on PlayStation consoles. But the fucking reality, and this is not up to, I didn't make it this way. You didn't make it this way. It's just the way the entire market has made it, the wider gaming industry. The reality is, Sony, you're not going to do that if you're just selling on your console. Sony probably looks at Nintendo and be like, why the fuck can they do it? It's like, bro, I don't know. You think Nintendo's just going to walk over and be like, Sony, here's how you do it? Even Nintendo probably doesn't fully know why, but they just are like, yeah, this is where we are. I don't know. Maybe it's because we kept making Mario Karts, That's what we did. I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. I missed the direct donation. I knew I was going to do that. I'm sorry. Got a couple of direct donations. God, I feel like shit. Benino, you're saying, hi MBG, no Xbox, but what about Death Stranding 2 on PC day and date? Also, what do you think about Private Division Studios? I think they were sold off, right? If I'm not mistaken, Private Division. But what do I think about Death Stranding 2 day and date on PC? I think, why not? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't think Death Stranding 2 is going to be a major system seller. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think it might be the perfect game for Sony to see, like, what are we missing out on here? Potentially. And dude, like, for all we know, Death Stranding 2 releases day one on PC, and it's like, it just does okay. Like, it's like, oh, it didn't really sell that great on PC, actually. If Sony got that data, they'd be like, oh, shit, we've been making the right choice then. But I don't know. I think Death Stranding 2 would make for a great test bed. Thank you for the direct dono, Venino. We also have Rich Rod saying, Kojima, you butterscotch POS, you are dead to MB Gangsta Nation. I hope all your future games fail and we blank on Kojima Productions. Bro called Kojima a dirty POS. Rich Rod, man. Rich Rod's hatred knows no bounds. Like, truly. Rich Rod, come on. I could call you a true pony. A true pony, right? Like, that is the most intense pony energy. And Rich Rod, I'm sorry, you did say, read my direct donation, damn it. Rich Rod will not give up the violence. He can't help himself. Well, thank you for the direct donation, Rich Rod. I do appreciate the support, man. Why is this good? There we go. We forsake Kojima. Today is the day. We will no longer support Kojima. I am ripping this off my wall. He has betrayed us. Oh my God, man. No, but the situation with Kojima Productions and Death Stranding is fascinating. Boss, don't worry. Dude, boss is looking at me like, so treats? Guys, we're at 13 members. We're like, we're 12 away. Listen, we're 12 members away. If we could get 12 more members, we can feed the beast. He's clearly waiting patiently. Look at his paws. They're crossed. He's like, I will wait. Please don't bite me. Change boss's name right now. This runs deep. The betrayal runs deep. He hasn't stopped looking at me. Yeah. Kojima is now banished. He's gone. Never again. Never again. Boss is just like, get an Xbox, bro. And Hellbound comes in. Hellbound, he's doing it for boss. He says, I'm dropping another 5-bomb for you guys. Hellbound drops 5 more memberships, bringing us up to 18 on the day. And then Baldy McNosehair, my favorite name. Baldy McNosehair comes in and drops another 5 memberships, bringing us up to where we at? Wait, hold on. We also have Lady K. Lady K drops 1. So that's another membership gifted. Where are we at? Guys, we're at 24. So I kid you not, we're 1 away. We're 1 away from hitting 25, and we can feed the beast here. Boss is like, if I just behave and wait patiently, I think I'll get some treats. Thank you guys for all the support. Oh, Luna's over there too. Luna's in here too. I wasn't sure if she was in the room with us. All right, well, we're still 1 away, so hang tight. We'll see if somebody can pull through for you. Boss is in deep thought about the Kojima and the IP situation. He does. He's got this look on his face today, you know? Like he's thinking very deeply. And Alvin does it. Alvin re-ups his membership, comes back to Greatness Awaits, and does it. He takes us to 25, and boom.
Boss, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
And Lady K drops another single as well. Lady K, thank you so much for that. That brings us up to 26. Look at that, boss. They got you. And Zombie Dragon. Zombie Dragon comes in, drops another single gift as well. So, guys, that brings us up to 27. Full-blown member train going. Thank you for that. W's in the chat for these guys. Showing some direct support for the channel. Hopefully I can keep the stream going a little bit longer because I can tell my medication's working, but it's going to wear off at some point. And, God, I feel like shit, man. But the show must go on. Boss, here we go, bro. Oh, Luna's coming over. Okay, oh no, come back. These ones smell strong. Oh, I mean, they don't smell that bad. Actually, dude, they smell like just a really strong scent, but they smell like they smell like buffalo wings, dude. They smell like buffalo wings. I ain't eating them. Don't ask me to eat them. I'm not eating them. But here you go. One more. And then I'll give Luna some as well. All right, let's see here. All right, hang tight, guys. We'll continue our conversation. Let me just update the member counter so you can see where we're at. Make sure everybody's member gift is accounted for. All right. Eric from 850 says change boss's name to Konami, a real business who never did anything wrong. Oh snap. Eric from 850. Imagine if I did change boss's name to Konami. Boss is now known as Konami. That's how we will address him. Konami, did you enjoy your treats? Konami, it's time to get down. It's time for Luna to have her treats next. Come on. It's Luna's turn. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. Jeez. Boss about to straight up attack me, man. I mean, Konami. Don't growl at me, bro. Okay, do you guys hear this? Hey. That's what I thought. He's like, all right, I'm pushing it too far. All right, Luna. You're up. No, boss. Boss. Hey, 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 you be nice. Don't be a bully. Boss is turning into a bully, man. Come on, Luna. You better learn to share, boss. Sorry. All right. Chad A says, got my Pro a few minutes ago. Let's go. Doesn't matter, Chad. We've given up on PlayStation. Return it. Return it immediately. We lost Kojima. It's over. It's over. I'm just kidding. It's awesome, dude. I hope you enjoy it. Still waiting for mine to show up. It still isn't here yet, so I'm still waiting. Still waiting patiently. Devil Shooter, you're saying your cat bullies your dog. That's even sadder. Yeah, cats are like that though, man. You heard that one from Boss? Yeah, he is not playing around with Luna anymore, man. I just wish he could be happy. You know, like, bro, you got plenty of treats. You don't need all the treats. You'll get sick. He's still over there growling. Unreal. All right, let me go see what else is being said about this whole Kojima thing real quick. Just give me a moment, guys. All right. I'm not seeing anything else showing up about it. I didn't know if there's going to be any more info or anything. So I will say really quick, talking about the PS5 Pro, I'm seeing on my Twitter feed that there's like a lot of new info about Black Ops 6 dropping. Did they reveal what the oh, holy shit, there's no way they're... Okay, guys, hold on. To any of my Black Ops players right now. Did you guys see that they're adding the replacer as an operator in Black Ops 6? Did you see this? People are asking when the Black Ops 6 enhanced update comes out. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, I was under the impression it was like going to be today, but I'm starting to think it might come a little bit later. But holy shit, they're bringing the replacer as an operator skin. I didn't think they would do it. They did it. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about I'm not seeing anything about pro support yet. Maybe it's going to. So, season 1 for Black Ops 6 drops, I think, on November 14th, which is a week from now. Maybe that's when the patch will go live for the pro. That's my best guess. But Sony did confirm it, so. All right. All right, let me head back to the chat here. I'm sorry about that. I just kind of like Silent Hill is Saturday. Okay. Yeah, it seems like some of these patches are coming like within a couple of days and or weeks. You heard that Black Ops 6 is going to be adding Master Chief as one of their skins? I think it would make sense. I mean, they're owned by Microsoft now. They could do that pretty easily. Terrence, you're saying Black Ops 6 will be enhanced on the PS5 Pro? Yeah, well, has anybody gotten their Pro today that tried Black Ops 6 and you noticed anything? Man, I'm starting to go downhill. I can feel it. Better frame rates. Seeing multiple people saying it's not enhanced yet. Okay. What did I eat today? I had some oatmeal. Some oatmeal with peanut butter. That's what I had today. I'm drinking some green tea right now. But yeah, I really wish I didn't feel like this today, of all days, with the Pro coming. I don't mean to complain. It's just, damn. Today was supposed to be a happy day for you with positive energy. I know. No, I think I'll still enjoy it. I mean, even though I'm sick, I'll still enjoy whenever it does get here. Setting it up, you know. Mass Effect is getting a live TV series on Amazon. Jeff Keighley confirmed it. What do you guys think of that? Nuke, you're saying oatmeal and peanut butter? I never tried that. It's really good. If you make like, if you boil the water, let's say just get like 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, put it in with the oats, and then, pour the boiling water in, mix it. Turns out really good. Really, really filling. I'll tell you that. It's really heavy. You will definitely be full if you use like 2 oatmeal packets or whatever, or 2 cups. MBG, they sent your Pro to my house. I'm sorry I'm keeping it. Damn, man. I knew something was off. I knew it should have been here by now. Well, I guess I pretty much said everything I had to say about the whole Kojima Productions thing and Death Stranding, and we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what else we learn about this situation and Death Stranding 2. Maybe not much is going to change at all, you know? Damon, you're saying your Pro is at Best Buy waiting for you to pick it up? Yeah, I guess it is interesting to think that if you didn't order it online, you could, I guess, just walk into, like, even if you didn't pre-order it, it almost seems like you could walk into a retailer today and just buy one, which is interesting. I don't know if you could go to every retailer, but somebody earlier said that that's what they did. They just went in and they bought one. Think so? You got no tracker on your PS5 Pro? Actually, let me check. I don't know. The last thing I saw is it said it was out. Let me see. See if it lets me track it. It says between 3 and 5:30. So for me, that's still in a couple hours. So that's usually how it is. I actually called it pretty well. Usually with bigger packages like that, I receive them later in the afternoon. That's what you got too, Robert. See somebody asking any news on when the Silent Hill 2 Pro patch is coming out. Apparently Saturday. That's what I saw a couple people saying. Saying you watched Bloodborne running on it, and it was 10 frames less than the Pro version. Gavin, you're saying the winter bug is going around where I live. Everyone's ill with it. Yeah. Yeah, I finally caught something. I just hope that what I'm experiencing now is the worst of it. Like, it's one of these things where it's like I'm experiencing the worst of it now, or it's going to get way worse tomorrow. One or the other. I'm hoping this is the worst of it. Because I think Mrs. MBG had it too, and it wasn't too severe for her. So hopefully it's not too bad for me either. Managers are saying you saw Dying Light 2 got a pro patch. They're rolling in unannounced now. Yeah, dude, the Silent Hill 2 Pro support was unannounced. Like, it just was there. I think maybe the best thing to do would be to continue to check the when it does roll out to everybody, the PS5 Pro section of the PlayStation Store. Yoshi, you're saying take some elderberry shots, bro. I have. Mrs. MBG was recommending this to me earlier. She was saying to drink this elderberry tea. I opted for green tea instead, but can you have both? You can you have green tea and elderberry tea? It's probably fine, right? I don't know. I just always imagine like if you mix these different teas or something at one time, it's like mixing medications. You're gonna get all messed up. Probably not though. Probably doesn't work like that. So for anybody who got their PS5 Pro already, did you do a data transfer? I mean, I know King Sam was in here earlier. He said he was doing it and it took him like 6 hours. How is that process? Is it annoying? A 6 hour data transfer sounds insane. Like, I don't know if I want to wait that long. Your grandma says MBG should put an onion in his sock when he sleeps. I heard of that. I don't think that actually works, dude. Does it work? Garrett says, every time I hop on stream, MBG has a weird ailment. No, I don't have a weird ailment. I'm just a little sick. I got a little cold. I don't think that's weird. You just re-download your games. Well, okay, I guess the data transfer makes sense if you have like a bunch of stuff installed. Or like it makes sense how it would take so long. Up Ghost Fraser said, I'm doing it now and it took 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. You upload all your saves to the cloud and download the games. Yeah, because I'm thinking about like if I really need to do it or not. I don't know that I have much to transfer over. Well, I guess what about like your saved captures and stuff like that? That stuff probably has to be transferred over, right? Because I'm pretty sure all that stuff is saved to the SSD. You just backed up everything onto the old PS4 SSD. I think you meant to say like hard disk drive. Boss. Boss. Hey. Be nice. Stop being mean. That's cat, man. MBG, why do you think the Switch 2 will be a handheld powerhouse? I don't think it's going to be a handheld powerhouse necessarily. I think the only thing that really matters for the Switch 2 is if it gets that third-party support. If it gets strong third-party support where games are not skipping it, they're releasing on it. They're running at 30 frames. They don't look as good. They don't run as good, but they're on it. I think that's what's going to count for most people. And I think that's what's going to be the different, not a difference maker, but it'll be impactful, I think, for that console. Yeah, that's what I was hearing too. You're saying if it's NVIDIA and it has DLSS, it actually could be. I did see that. Yeah. Like some people are saying like this handheld might run some games at 4K, you know, or what looks to be like 4K. Yeah, Call of Duty's going to be going to Switch. Lee 47, no, I'm still waiting for my Pro. I still got a couple of hours before it arrives. So you better hope that doesn't happen. Dude, I would love to see it. Devil Shooter, I would. Like I'm hoping the Switch pressures Sony. I think it would be so much better this time around if the Switch 2 actually makes Sony a bit nervous and Sony. I want it to be so Sony can't just look at the Switch 2 and be like, we don't have to worry about that. I would prefer it if it's like, they might actually be encroaching on our territory now. I want that because it's just going to make Sony have to do more, you know? I want to see Sony under just the right amount of pressure. I don't want to see them with their back against the wall where it's like sink or swim because it's a bit too dangerous. Like, obviously, you can't get some of the best things to occur in those moments, but it's not necessarily the safest bet. It's dangerous, but I also don't want to see them so comfortable that they're just like, whatever. You want that to happen too, Devil Shooter? Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Novinzer. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. West Web, you're saying MBG it's signature required. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. I don't think it was like that for my PS5 though. But it makes sense why it would be signature required. Nick, you're saying any news on the Chrome faceplates for the PS5 Pro? As of right now, no. Sony hasn't announced the covers or the plates for the Pro. I think they're going to soon, but they haven't done so yet. Nuke, you had to sign for your PS5? Okay. All right, well, I guess I should prepare myself. I have to have a face-to-face interaction with another human being today. A stranger. I imagine Sony's eager to start selling plates for the Pro. Because we know that the slim plates don't work on it, or at least the top ones don't. And Sony can just make, that's like, the profit margins on those plates are probably really good. You know? Really good. Baldur's Gate 3 is getting Pro enhanced? Oh, damn, another game confirmed. Yeah, I imagine we're going to continue hearing about games that are, just games here and there. It's like, yep, this is going to get enhanced. That's going to get enhanced. Watch the door. UPS is lazy. Well, I just checked. It says the soonest I could expect it is like 3. So I got a little bit of time. But yeah, I don't want to miss it. That would be annoying. That'd be really annoying. You really like the chroma line, teal green. Looks dope. When is Astrobot getting enhanced? Yeah, I'm surprised Astrobot's not enhanced, but I guess it doesn't need to be. I mean, does it? I don't know. It would be cool, but I could see it happening. Interestingly enough, I saw that Astrobot's already on sale. MBG, do you know if I'm banned? You shouldn't be banned. I could see you in the chat. If I could see you, that means you're not banned. Well, let me see where I'm at time-wise. God, I feel so exhausted. Hour and 43. Okay. So we're making pretty good time. We'll go for like another 15 minutes. We'll go to about we'll go to like 2 o'clock. Am I going to talk politics? New president? Oh my God. The meltdowns, dude. I will just say this. I think it's interesting that there are so many people that seem to believe that like we just all right, listen. The funniest thing I've seen is the general notion that America just elected a supervillain. Like that's the way people are acting, bro. Like we literally have a supervillain. like a cartoonish supervillain that's going to literally actively work to destroy everybody's lives. Did I see how Kimmel and Colbert reacted? I can only imagine, bro. I didn't. I saw that Jimmy Kimmel was trending, and it's just like, will you people get a fucking grip? Like it's insanity, man. People are acting like we just like they just found out that their life is over. And it's like, what are you talking about, man? Like, get a fucking grip. Yeah, we just elected Lex Luthor. Luthor. Calm down, MBG. Don't want YouTube to shadow ban you. You called your friend today and she was literally depressed. I mean, look, I think it's okay that some people are upset, of course, but I don't know. Some of the, I mean, I've been seeing some of the funniest reactions to that are trending, but people, dude, I went on Twitter the day after, it was the day after election night. Oh my God. Like, dude, it was comical. I was like, this can't be real. Just the tweets and the posts I was seeing, the stuff that people were saying, I'm like, I understand emotions are running high right now, but what am I even seeing right now? What is happening? The coping, the seething, it's like beyond that, dude. It's beyond that. I mean, it's truly meltdown city. Henry 3K, no, thank you for, I don't know why I'm not hearing my notifications go off for direct donations. It seems to be like bugged out or something. So I'll check it now. Thank you for letting me know, Henry 3K. I apologize to anybody who does a direct donation and ends up having to wait a little bit. You're saying happy Pro Day, MBG. I want to know your top game soundtracks / albums this year. I've been enjoying Stellar Blade, Tekken 8, and Astrobot on Spotify. Tekken 8, I actually, dude, I forgot I played Tekken 8. That was this year. Tekken 8 had a good soundtrack. I was enjoying that. Stellar Blades isn't, you mentioned Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was interesting. The soundtrack added a lot to that experience overall. I gotta say though, dude, Silent Hill 2. Bro, that soundtrack, making me feel very uncomfortable in the best possible way. Silent Hill 2, probably my favorite of the year in terms of, I will say though, underrated here. I talk about how both Silent Hill 2 and Helldivers 2 are like my potential game of the year, but Helldivers 2, pretty good soundtrack. Pretty good soundtrack overall, I would say. Very epic. Let me think though. What else did I play where the soundtrack stuck out? I mean, can we throw Astrobot in there? Astrobot had a really good soundtrack. I think Astrobot's soundtrack was maybe better than like you would expect. Josh, you're saying Rebirth. From what I played, yeah, the soundtrack was good, really good. I mean, honestly, like I feel like soundtracks in games these days are just so good across the board. Like I feel like it's rare you find like a bad soundtrack, you know? Moses, you're saying under Trump, the new FTC will let Microsoft buy even more studios. What do you think they buy up next? Ubisoft. I don't think they could buy Ubisoft because Ubisoft has the cloud agreement. I don't know. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't know that Microsoft, I know Microsoft will probably have a much easier time buying more, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to want to. Microsoft has to worry about making money back on what they just did, you know? Oh, that might be the strongest tea I ever made. Holy shit. That is so strong. Where's your PS5 Pro, MBG? It got stolen. I say that. I shouldn't joke about that. That's going to end up happening. I heard rumors Elon Musk is going to buy Ubisoft. I would love to see that happen just to see. Just to see. What's going to happen to Ubisoft now? Yeah, the most interesting thing to me about the election, from what I've seen, is the people who like are having trouble accepting that this is who the majority of the country voted for, like by quite a large margin, you know? And without getting overly political, I'll just say that I think what happened is a lot of people put their faith into Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, and they voted for them back in 2020. And I think the realization for a lot of people now is we see the results. We see this is 4 years under this man you elected. These are the results. And I think for most people, and I think the results show this, they're like, yeah, no, I'm good this time. Fool me once. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing about like the fact it was Kamala Harris running and not Joe Biden because he stepped down. She was his vice president. So I think people kind of realize that if you choose to vote for Kamala Harris, it's basically gonna be Joe Biden 2.0. She was right behind him the whole time, agreeing with every single thing. I don't know. That's just kind of like my broad observation, where it just seems clear that a lot of people don't trust. And I know it's crazy because people are like, bro, we elected a criminal. And it's like, all right, I get it, but still, I see people constantly talking about how like Donald Trump was the worst president in U.S. history, but they like never say why. I noticed that, and I'm not like a Trump defender. I'm just saying, like I don't like people list they constantly list these things or talk about Trump, but they never like have something of substance to say, and I'm always waiting. Like, okay, like, all right, you seem pretty shook. You really let me know this guy is a villain. Like, what did he do? Like, I mean, really, like, what should I be very afraid of right now? And they're like, well, did you see his mean tweet? All right, it's a little bit more than that, but I don't know, man. I'm just like, whatever, bro. Like, nobody's perfect. Anybody who is, I think it's safe to say that anybody who gets elected as president is going to fuck up in a couple ways. But he's orange. Isn't it pretty well documented, the shit he has done? I mean, yeah, I'm not like, the whole thing is from what I can tell, again, I'm coming at this from an extremely, I'm not really diving deep into this shit, like not as deep as others, but it seems like a lot of people are like pointing like, well, he did this in his past and he did that in his past, and here are some things that speak to his character. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying that doesn't matter. That does matter. Absolutely. But at the same time though, like, I don't know. The thing that matters to me most right now is like, listen, he's been elected the president of the United States. And people keep saying he was the worst president of the United States. And I need to know, what did he do? Like, what decisions did he make that qualify him as the worst president of the United States? Because all I know is that for the last 4 years under Biden, shit has went downhill rapidly. Like, I mean, real fucking rapid. And as somebody who lives in America, like, my focus is I would like to see some things improved here now, like I'm not, and I said this before the election results came in. The thing that I said was, I don't really care who wins. I just hope that whoever does gets some shit done. Like, they do some good work and they don't make things fucking worse. And the way I see some people reacting, they're like, we're going to be set back 100 years. And I'm like, what are you like, what? How? Like, what are you talking about? Like, have you not taken a look around? I'm not saying we're set back 100 years now, but shit's not good. And the current leadership is not doing jack shit about it. Like, that's my biggest problem, is we need something to change. And I'm not saying Trump couldn't potentially. I think everybody is aware Trump could definitely fuck up. And this isn't about, like, for me, it's less about a side winning as much as about a side getting shit done. That's what matters. We need shit to get done. And we need, listen, as an American citizen, it's just like, I'm not going to be against the idea of America comes first. I understand that there is maybe like a moral and an ethical obligation to an extent where we have to consider the rest of the world. We are the world's number one superpower, but we got to take care of our own shit first before we go around worrying about the world's problems as well. Like, we need to be able to make sure that, is everything okay here? It reminds me of, like, it's like trying to take care of others if you can't properly take care of yourself first. How is that going to happen? You need to take care of yourself first. And once you get that in order, then you start extending that, and don't get me wrong. It's not that simple when we're talking about the country and, geopolitics. I know it's much more complicated than that, but that's all. I just want to see some improvements, and I understand there's a lot on the line, but when is there not? Has there not been a lot on the line the last 4 years under Biden? So if we're going to find out, that's another thing too. Like, I think for all the people who are making it sound like Trump is a supervillain that just got elected and he's going to ruin everything, let's see. I'm not betting against it. I'm just saying, like, okay, if you're right, then the next couple years, we're going to see things really take a turn for the worst. Let's see what happens. But my gut tells me it's not going to be that bad. Like, I don't think it could get worse. Maybe it could. I guess they say it could always get worse, but I don't know, man. I'm not anticipating some kind of fucking cataclysmic, You think social media as a whole has caused people to overreact more openly? Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. Nice t-shirt. Is it part of the PS5 Pro delivery celebration? Yeah, bro. Exclusive. Saying the sad part is, if what he does doesn't affect you, then you'll think he's great. Well, I guess that depends on how closely you're paying attention, right? Because you're right about that, Wabu dude. That, like, he could make decisions that negatively affect a certain group, but not another group. And if you're not paying attention to that, you won't know any different. And I agree. But I can honestly say I'm going to be paying more attention this time around. I would say one of the bigger mistakes I've made for the last 12 or 14 years is really not paying better attention to this stuff, because I never really cared about it. And I know a lot of people don't care about it, and I never really did either. And I'm not going to make my whole life about it either. Like I'm not trying to do that either. I think people make their whole life about it. But I do feel like it is, at least, I don't know, I've just reached this point in my life where it's like, it does feel important. And I think the reason why is because I think eventually, as people get older, they kind of begin to realize that, shit, man, the stuff I'm experiencing, this is what it's being caused by. You know what I mean? And I think like when you're younger, you don't really think about it. You don't care about it. But as you get older and you start to realize certain things that are directly impacting your day-to-day life, like, why is this like this? What's going on here? And then you follow the trail and you're like, oh, shit. Red with a super chat says, why are people crying Sony and Kojima has always worked together? They gave him a free game engine and they wouldn't hold his IP hostage. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they did give him that engine. And I think that's another thing that I forgot to mention is that when Sony relinquishes Death Stranding, they're also relinquishing the engine, which is also interesting. I mean, that's something that I think is worth paying attention to. But Red, I mean, I think Kojima and Sony are going to continue to work together. I just don't know that. Again, my analysis is I don't think Sony believes as much in Death Stranding as they once did. I think they're not convinced that it's going to be a major hit franchise for them. Oh yeah, and by the way, I see Gavin, you're mentioning RFK. Yeah, dude, I've been listening to him lately, and I'm like, dude, this is great. This is awesome that we have somebody like him now basically going to be in charge of like the health side, you know, not like healthcare necessarily, but like you're talking about a dude who's out here making videos on like, see these ingredients and these chemicals that food companies are putting into their products that we're eating every day and feeding our children, but they actually are linked to serious problems. And he's like going to fight against that shit. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, we need that shit. Like, this is what I'm saying. People, I think, are not, they're so focused on all the bad, but they're not necessarily focused on like, there might be some good here too, you know? You don't think Kojima wanted another Metal Gear situation? I do wonder. I do wonder how much Kojima paid for it. I imagine it wasn't cheap, to be honest. Maybe Kojima's been saving up this whole time. Maybe Sony was like, listen, Kojima, this is how much we'll sell it to you for. When you get the money, we'll sell it to you. He's like, all right, going for it. MVG, the PS5 now is a Pro exclusive background. I saw it. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, dude, I saw like there was this conversation happening where like now they're going to take the fluoride out of the water. And that was weird, dude. I'm going to be honest. The way I saw people react online to that, did you guys see that when there was this talk that apparently if Trump gets elected, they're going to take the fluoride out of the water. And I saw people like arguing that fluoride should be in the water. And I'm like, you sure about that? You sure about that? Really? I don't know, man. Strange times we live in. Red with another super chat. Thank you, buddy, saying they don't. That's why they have no problem giving IP away. They're making a new stealth game together. Well, Sony doesn't own that IP either, Red, just so you know. Kojima does own Fizzant, but I mean, yeah, I do think at the end of the day, listen, are there people on the internet right now reacting to this news with Kojima and Death Stranding, reacting to it as if suddenly now they're, you know, they're at odds with one another. Maybe, yeah. I think there are people reacting like that, but those people, they don't know what they're talking about. I don't think Kojima and Sony are at odds with one another. I think it's the opposite. I think that I don't think Sony. Listen, the only thing I don't agree with, is people are kind of making it sound like Sony is doing Kojima a favor, and it's like I don't think that's what this is. I think that there's a very specific business-oriented reason behind it. Multi-billion-dollar conglomerates don't just do stuff, because it's a good look, But maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just a maybe it is about mutual respect. It could be. I mean, I think Kojima does have that potential pull, He has that pull. Sony did bend over backwards for him when he was out there on his own. So again, I still think that I just can't remove the cynicism from the business side of it. That's all. Is Death Stranding 2 still a PS5 exclusive? As of right now, there's been no announcement of it not being. So no, I get that, Novinzer. I know. It makes sense. It makes total sense. You don't think Sony was thrilled about the initial sales of Death Stranding? But you think they recognize the fan base that Kojima games? Yeah, I mean, Broccoli Rob, you're saying the PS5 Pro just arrived. WG, go get it. Not yet. I did go a little bit over time, though. I went a little bit over time. Well, guys, I think this will be a good spot to wrap up the stream, though, because I do want to keep it on the shorter side. I feel like complete shit right now, and I think my medicine's starting to wear off a little bit, which means I'm going to feel even worse. So, yeah, I think I'm going to try to like chill out for the rest of the day. Obviously, I'll try to play my PS5 Pro when I get it. I'm still excited for that, but I'm feeling like kind of sweaty and it's very clammy overall. So I do hope I feel better tomorrow, but I may end up taking the next day or two off and resting up. Red with another super chat though says Sony loves Kojima. You don't give a game engine to a nobody to get a free game engine. That's major love. LOL. Oh, I agree with that. I do firmly agree with that. The only thing that I think is worth keeping in mind, Red, and not to say that you're wrong, because I agree. Sony does clearly have a certain love for Kojima, but the thing that I think we should keep in mind is that the leadership structure has changed for PlayStation. I don't know if Hiroki Totoki was the president of Sony when Sony brought Kojima in 2016. But I just think, I don't know. I know Herman obviously loves Kojima, I think Herman would go up to bat for Kojima any day of the week. It just makes me wonder if there's maybe other things going on internally at Sony to where they're like, maybe we should just, I don't know. Maybe we'll get more details on this. Did Sony do it because they didn't believe in it being a major franchise, or did they do it out of mutual respect? I don't know. I appreciate that, Shadowlink. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. I was seriously contemplating not streaming today, but I thought, it's Thursday, it's PS5 Pro day, and we had that news with Kojima, so we'll talk all about that. But you can't cage Kojima. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, this is where I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before I go, I do just want to give you guys just a big shout out, for dropping membership gifts, and super chats. Ahoy Tyler saying, if they didn't believe in him, why greenlight Fizzant? Well, I'm not saying they don't believe in Kojima. I'm just saying I don't know that Sony. I think Sony believes something like Fizzant. Oh, hold on. Wow. What are the chances, man? Literally, as soon as I'm about to end the stream, the UPS guy arrived. And you're right. I did have to sign for it. All right. Only way I'm doing an unboxing is if somebody drops a 50 bomb. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I did just pull it out of the cardboard box, though, because there's just not enough room over here for all that. But did I sign boss? I just scribbled. But Pat, it's lighter than I expected. You see that? I accidentally scratched it. I messed it up. But yeah, we could do an unboxing. I'll try my best. It might be a bit chaotic. Uh-oh. Hold on. I got this PlayStation sticker here. This exclusive PlayStation sticker. He was watching the stream and he drove faster. He's like, I gotta get this delivery there now, bro. All right, hold on. This is gonna be a bit awkward and kind of cramped here. Get. That box was dangerously close to falling on my power strip and turning it off. Power cable. Got that Got that that new PlayStation console smell. What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. What is this? I'm so confused. We got HDMI. USB-C charging cable. Got the DualSense. Man, it always feels good to hold a brand new DualSense, you know? Brand new, not all messed up, or greasy, or whatever. Just something about it. It feels good. Let's manuals. And here we go. Jeez, it's really in there. I don't have enough space for all this shit, damn it. Oh. Seriously, I don't know where to put this fucking box. Oh god. Oh. Bro, okay. Why did I just throw that box on the ground and it just shook the whole room? And now boss is over there thinking he's gonna do something with it. And there it is. The PS5 Pro. I waited so long. It's like, it really is a lot lighter. It really is a lot lighter than you would have thought. There it is, man. Now I gotta lick it. Clipped. I just got clipped. Why did I make the sound though, man? Why did I make the sound? Like the sound, you know? That didn't, I didn't have to do that. But sorry, boss. And there we are. Nick, there's no way you said tongue the porthole. Oh my god. Boss, just hold on. Please do it. Boss, do it. Do it right now. Check this out. Get in. Come on. Come on. He's trying to get in the box. Come on. Get in there. Yeah. Let's get 25 member gifts so we can feed the pro. We got to feed the pro. All right, boss. Here's your new cave. Come on. Hop in. Hop in, bro. I know you want to. You could do it. Luna, how about you? I'm trying to get one of the cats to go in the box. All right, I'm putting treats in the box. Okay, all right. It's not working. Go ahead, get in the box. Get in the box. It's okay. There's treats in there. There's treats in the box, Dan. I'm just trying to get a cat in a box. She knows. She knows they're in there. It's not a trap, I promise. But do you hear boss crying? Well, I tried. You know? Every PS5 Pro ships with a boss. All right, Luna, here, jump in. See the treats? Jump in. She wants to do it. Come on. You know you want to. They're right there. I would not be a good hunter. No, I wouldn't be. She's thinking about it though. All right, here's what we'll do. Maybe it's because I'm pressuring her. It's making her feel uncomfortable. They're in the box. Don't you understand? I put them in the box. Cats are looking at me like, where'd they go? Where'd they go, bro? I just saw them fall. Where'd they go? Like, they're in the box. They're in the box. In here. Am I going to have to get in the box? I'm going to have to get in the box. Leia, you want in on this? Come here. Leia. Oh my God. He's like, get me away. Boss just straight up screamed, man. Okay, hold on. I think she's gonna do it. I think she's gonna do it. Come on, Luna, do it. Luna, do it. Come on. I don't have. All right. the box. Get in the box. Okay. Okay. Don't get. I give up. I tried. She's not letting me. Do you guys not want the treats or what? It's okay. I wasn't planning on keeping the box anyway. Yeah, the box is not sturdy. I'm thinking maybe that's why they're like, I ain't going in there. Like, she's extremely light. She's not heavy, and she just bent it like completely. You okay? Hey, whoa. Let go. Let go. Let go of my mat. Luna, please let go of my... Oh, my God. Okay. This is... I don't know if you guys can hear right now. This is too much. This is going off the rails. I tried. I did everything I could. You guys hear, boss? Oh my God, Luna, what'd you do? All right, I tortured these cats enough, guys. Just come get your treats. I tried. That's what happens. I'm gonna get one of these cats in the box. Got my cat in a PS5 Pro box. I'll be honest, I think the box just isn't strong enough, man. I think Luna would fall right through it. When are the impressions coming? I guess after I get some time with it. So I had the gain turned all the way up. How clearly could you hear that? I don't know how clear it was coming in. Boss is just walking around growling, bro, and like eating while growling and just like. You heard everything. Did you hear him growling when he was eating? That's the funniest sound, man. He's so mad, dude. I don't know how he can be this mad. He got so many treats. He's just mad because Luna's right there. Bro was nom-nomming. Well. Now he's on the other side of the room now, just like growling. Like, he needs to chill out. Am I going to play Bloodborne? I don't know that Bloodborne's a game I'm going to play. No. He's possessive over his food. Yeah, he is. Well, guys, I think this is it. PS5 Pro arrived on time. Luna, no. All right. Maybe we couldn't do Luna in the PS5 Pro box, but Luna, there's not treats on the Pro. Please step away. Step away from the Pro. Oh, man. My PS5 Pro is going to end up getting destroyed before I even get to use it. She's checking the ports. Okay, Luna, she thinks there's treats underneath it, bro. She really thinks there's treats underneath it. There are no treats underneath it. I assure you, there are none. Oh, I didn't think she would actually listen. But all right. Well, guys, I think this will wrap it up. I meant to end this like 30 minutes ago, but, there we go. We were able to get the PS5 Pro unboxing in. A bit of a chaotic unboxing, but I guess that's to be expected. Add the disk drive. I'll do that stuff a little bit later on. I gotta rehydrate first, and then I'll get everything set up and try it out. But yeah, I'm really feeling like shit right now. I'm not gonna lie. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I hope I'll feel better by tomorrow. Yeah, there we go. I got my PS5 Pro. I'm excited to try it out. Excited to play it. I'm gonna get that set up, and all right. So I got to clean up over here too. I made a big mess. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Appreciate all the support. Anybody who dropped member gifts, anybody who dropped any super chats or direct donations, really appreciate what you do for the channel. I'm only able to do this because you guys make it possible. And as I say that, we have Frank coming in with a $20 super chat. Last minute super chat here. His fifth time super chatting as well. He says, could you make a dedicated video sharing your thoughts on the PS5 Pro? I will. I'll think about doing that. Here's what I'll do. I'll either make a dedicated video or I'll have a dedicated portion of my stream that I will actually cut out. I'm probably going to make a dedicated video, though. Don't fight. Don't. Oh, my God. Boss. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just had to go quiet there for a minute because, yeah, boss, he just keeps coming out like randomly, just loud growling. He's still growling. He's so, dude, I've never heard him this upset. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He's really, really upset. Luna did something to upset him. Maybe he thinks the Pro is another cat. He found his voice. Meanwhile, Luna's just over here like, what did I do? All right. I'm sorry. I keep prolonging the stream, but Frank, bro, thank you so much for the $20 super chat, man. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Now boss has to go inspect the Pro. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, it's just because he's never like this when I'm streaming. He's never just walking around making these sounds. So I'm just trying to capture this moment because I don't know if it's going to happen again. But all right, for real this time. I could definitely tell the medicine has fully worn off. Boss doesn't like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's really all that's changed, dude. That's all that's changed. I have a PS5 Pro in the room right now, and oh, whoa. That's it, bro. We gotta. Boss is gonna end up killing somebody. Did you just hear that? dude, Leia is sitting here. Leia is sitting here looking at me like, help. He's gonna need to go on timeout. That was crazy. I had to yell at him. He went and attacked Leia. Like, dude, Leia? Leia? Not even Luna. All right. I do got to end it because, dude, I don't know. I'm starting to get worried. Boss is legit. Yeah, he's amped, bro. He is not screwing around. Now Leia's like meowing at the door. She's like, please, God, let me out. All right. There you go. That's it. The last 30 minutes of this stream, true chaos, man. Boss is like, you ate all my treats. You know what's weird? He's acting that way. He's acting like, dude, it's like he's acting like Patrick from that SpongeBob episode. Like, no, I'm gonna starve. Like, bro, you ate all the treats. I gave you the treats. Luna didn't even have any. And he's acting like that right now. He's bringing that energy. So excited about the PS5 Pro. He's threatened by the PS5 Pro, bro. He is threatened. But all right, that's it for real. I got to go calm boss down, and I got to go let Leia out because she's terrified. So guys, thank you so much. This is like the third time I'm saying goodbye, but boss is a raging psycho. He's changed quite a bit, hasn't he, over the last year? He really has. He went from being just a very chill, calm cat to now he's literally over here raging around like a lunatic. But all right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. If you got a PS5 Pro, I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna go set mine up and enjoy that. And yeah, so I probably won't, unless I feel miraculously much better tomorrow. We probably won't do a stream tomorrow. The next stream we'll probably do will be on Sunday. By that point, I should be able to give you some of my impressions and let you know what I think of the Pro. So, yeah, I hope to see you then. And thank you for all the support, guys. Devil Shooter, got to give you a shout out as well. Thank you for doing the timestamps for all the streams, man. If you guys see Devil Shooter in the comments with the timestamps, give him some thanks. I know he really appreciates it, and he does a great job for the community. So, all right, guys, that does it. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm going to go calm boss down. So, till then, Take care, everyone.